There's been an important constitutional amendment after an overnight debate in the Parliament of Maldives, wherein now, of course, land will be available for foreign countries, for other countries as well to buy. Now, does this mean that the Chinese firms will have a greater foothold in Maldives? Joining me now is former Foreign Secretary, also former Chairman of the National Security Advisory Board, Mr. Shyam Saran. So, how do you look at this development? Because the Chinese have already been investing heavily into Maldives, building an airport to highway projects, and Yamin, the current president, is considered somebody with an increasing tilt towards the Chinese.
Well, I'm not sure whether the constitutional amendment can be seen as directly connected to the Chinese presence in the Maldives. But as you say, this constitutional amendment means that foreign nationals can purchase property in the Maldives. There have been news that China itself is interested in purchasing one of the atolls and developing it as a kind of a full-fledged resort. But we will have to wait and see whether or not this is going to open the door for a very heavy Chinese presence.
The amendment says that any project above $1 billion, that for that kind of a project, you can buy land there.
Yes. So you are right that China has and Chinese companies have very deep pockets, and they could certainly be among those who would be bidding for land. But I hope that some Indian companies would do the same, because Maldives does have a lot of potential in terms of tourism development, and as you know, it is becoming a rather favored destination for a lot of Indian tourists, high-end Indian tourists. So there is really no reason why our own companies cannot take advantage of it, and
the last time around we saw how it played out for the Indian firm GMR there. Now, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi also had cancelled off, in a way, postponed his Maldives tour following their internal domestic sort of the political upheaval.
Well, there is not much that we can do in order to control whatever internal developments are taking place in the Maldives, or for that matter in any other country. We will just have to make certain that our concerns and our interests are safeguarded. So on the limited question of the constitutional amendment, I would say that the response to that should be to see whether, instead of being very afraid of what this might lead to, whether we can also look at it as an opportunity, right, and encourage some of our Indian companies to take advantage of it and go in a big way into the tourism sector. Then if there is discrimination against Indian companies, then that becomes a political issue. But by itself, I don't think that we should be look upon this as somehow or the other opening the doors to Chinese influence. And by the way, it should also be recognized that even though there has been political turmoil in the Maldives, our presence in the Maldives, which has been built over several years, whether it is on the security side or whether it is in terms of our investment in the health sector, in the education sector in the Maldives, a large number of Maldivians come to study in India. So we should not underestimate the kind of links that we have with the Maldives, and the importance of the assets which have been built over many years.
So one final question, but looking at the larger picture, as you said, that India and Maldives have also shared closer ties. But in the recent past, we have also seen that submarine issue, the Chinese submarine passing through the waters, docking in Karachi. So is there a reasonable, at least, is there reason enough for India to be at least alarmed and be worried?
I wouldn't say alarmed, but certainly India will be watching very carefully the activities of the Chinese Navy in our neighborhood. It is only natural. But the way to try and deal with what we see as an increase in the presence of China in our neighborhood is not to try and see whether we can push them out, because we probably cannot, but how do we increase our own presence, because we have I think in terms of our linkages with our neighboring countries, we have a lot of good assets. Good assets in the terms of, our cultural affinity with those countries, the proximity which we have with those countries, the fact that we have very, very strong economic and trade links with these countries. So our effort should be that we use these assets, use them as leverage to expand our influence, expand our presence in this region. If you do that, obviously, you provide a much better balance.
Do you think the Prime Minister should visit sometime soon?
Well, the Prime Minister
regardless
has,
of the domestic situation there?
Let us see how the domestic situation evolves, because at the time that he was going to undertake the visit, there was some, controversy at that time, particularly because of the arrest and jailing of the former president. But we will let us wait and see how the political situation evolves. It's not that we have cut off our links with the Maldives. And as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, I think he is shown that he attaches the highest importance to our relationship with our neighboring countries. I think he recognizes that whatever India is able to do with respect to expanding its footprint in the region depends greatly on how well we manage our neighborhood. Yeah. So in that context, I think we have made a good start. And yes, there is a problem in the Maldives, but I see no reason to believe that this is something which somehow will, in the long term, will impact on our.
Many thanks for speaking to us. A very seasoned voice there, of course, suggesting that while India exercises caution as far as the Maldives activities in the region go, but also that this is a window of opportunity where there needs to be greater competition from New Delhi itself instead of just looking at conflicting position vis-a-vis China. In New Delhi with video journalist Kripal Singh, this is Smita Sharma for India Today.